Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So, how are you? How is everyone? Good afternoon. So, I guess I hope all of you are doing well. I am also quite good. Yes. So, in the last session, what we have discussed about, like we have been discussing about the endocrine and exocrine system. We have discussed about the endocrine. We have discussed about exocrine system. We have also seen that what is the lymphatic system in case of human body. We have discussed about that part also. Then after that, we started with the section of diseases. And in disease section, we have discussed about what actually is cancer. Then we have discussed about second topic, which was about diabetes. Okay. Then there is one section of it, like we have discussed it in a general manner, that what are these diseases. When we will come to the mains part of it, when we will come to the science and tech section, so there also we will see some of the prevalent or some of the common diseases or health trend in India. We will see this health trend in India also, like what is the trend of health and nutrition in India. Although that is part of GS paper 2, but we will discuss a little bit about it here also, that what is the trend of health and nutrition in India. So we will take that one topic later. Okay. Now, here what we will see that, like we have also started with this genetic issues, and in genetic issues we have discussed about one such problem which is related to sickle cell anemia. Okay. It is related to sickle cell anemia. So that is one thing which we have discussed in the classes till now. Then after this, we have to discuss about other topics, like we have to discuss about this one issue of the trisomy. Okay. Trisomy, where we are going to see trisomy X, we are going to see Klinefelter. Okay. We are also going to see the color blindness. We are also going to see this one part of this hemophilia and other related issues which were there. We will try to see them also one by one. Okay. We will also like look into other related things which will come here. Yeah. Any heart is there. So I told you, no, that just now I told you. Okay. Just now I told you. Yes, Rishabh, your message is visible. Okay. Just now I told you that we will see this one part, the NCDs, the non-communicable diseases, but we will see it from the mains angle. We will see it from the mains angle, like the prevalence of NCDs in India. So in health and nutrition section, we will see it. UPSC is not going to ask you about what is the difference between heart attack and heart failure, what is the difference between cardiac arrest. So that is not part of like your syllabus. Yeah. We will see it from one general trend, that what is the prevalence of these diseases, why they are prevalent, and what are the like reforms which we need in our public health policy. So we will see that from that angle. Okay. Now, these are the topics which we are going to discuss: the trisomy X, Klinefelter, color blindness, hemophilia, etc. Okay. So these topics we are going to discuss. Now, before we discuss that, we have certain questions which you can answer first. Okay. First one is this: anemia is largely prevalent among women and children. Second is saying anemia is caused due to deficiency of balanced nutrition. A person suffering from anemia is at higher risk of developing other diseases. How many statements are correct? Here we have this one question. First is saying anemia is largely prevalent among women and children. Second is saying anemia is caused due to deficiency of balanced nutrition. A person suffering from anemia is more likely or at higher risk of developing other diseases. What will be the answer? C option and D option. So few people are going for B option and rest other going for C option. If we look at this, anemia is largely prevalent among women and children. We have seen most of the cases of anemia is being seen in case of women or children. So that is one part. Second is anemia is caused due to deficiency of balanced nutrition. Correct? Okay. When there is lack of iron, then we see that there is a chance that the person will be developing anemia. Third part is a person suffering from anemia is at higher risk of developing other diseases. So I have explained it to you last day also that if a person is suffering from anemia, it may happen that the person who is there might have deficiencies in his organs. Like if anemia is there, then we will see that the heart will not be working properly, the kidney will not be working properly, livers will not be working properly. So it can give rise to other problems, other diseases also. So this third option is also correct. The answer here is C option. Now, question number 2. Sickle cell anemia is caused primarily due to iron deficiency. Sickle cell anemia is prevalent largely in tribal population of India. India suffers from the highest burden of sickle cell anemia globally. How many statements are correct here? This is question number 2. Okay, a few answer is A option, some are saying C option and B option. So if you look at this, sickle cell anemia is caused primarily due to iron deficiency. You know that this is not correct. Sickle cell anemia is caused due to this problem of genetic mutation. It is a result of genetic mutation or genetic defect, not a iron deficiency. The first one is incorrect. Sickle cell anemia is prevalent largely in tribal population of India. Second one is correct. India is suffering from the highest burden? No. India is at the third highest level. Okay. 2 African countries are there. So this third one is incorrect. Answer will be option number A. A person infected by a virus may develop cancer. A person having higher consumption of intoxicating substance may develop cancer. A person with regular diet, daily exercise and pure food and water will not develop cancer ever. So how many statements are correct here? We have this question number 3. A person infected by a virus may develop cancer. A person having higher consumption of intoxicating substance may develop cancer. A person with regular diet, daily exercise, pure food and water will not develop cancer ever. A option, B option. Again, mixed answers. Some are saying A option, some are saying B option. Look at this. A person infected by a virus may develop cancer. This is correct. Why? Virus is something which can impact the immune system. It can make the immune system weaker. And if immune system is weaker, then may cause cancer. Like we have this one HPV virus, human papilloma virus. This is the second most common cancer among women. This is the second most common cancer among women. So like we have this HPV, human papilloma virus. This is causing the cervical cancer. This one is causing the cervical cancer. And this is the most common cancer among the women. So first one is correct. A person having higher consumption of intoxicating substances may develop cancer. So you know that we have already seen this. Okay. So this second option is correct. A person with regular diet, daily exercise and pure food and water will not develop cancer ever. You know that this is absolute statement. It will be wrong. So answer here will be option number B. Okay. Option number B will be the correct answer. Fourth one. With reference to diabetes, consider the following statement. Type 1 diabetes is a lifestyle disease which is highly prevalent in India. In type 1 diabetes, the pancreas produces little amount of insulin. The person suffering from type 1 diabetes requires constant doses of insulin. So here we have question number 4. A option, B option, C option, all three here. Sound is low. I hope all of you are able to hear me properly. I am always speaking with the same sound. There are so many satellites in the space. Maybe some of the Starlink satellites are disturbing in the sound processing. I am speaking, it is going there. The Starlink satellites which are there, they are catching the sound. Maybe they are sending it to different countries. That's why you are not able to get the proper sound. Okay. Take it from your side, Mansi, because everyone is able to get the sound properly. So check it from your side once. Okay. So type 1 diabetes is a lifestyle disease. This is incorrect. It is not a lifestyle disease. It is a genetic disease. It is due to genetic defect. So that's why this first one option is wrong. In type 1 diabetes, the pancreas produces little amount of insulin. It's wrong. Pancreas is not able to produce the insulin. Why? Because we have seen this is an autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease. So here we see that the beta cells of the pancreas, which can, they are itself getting destroyed. Okay. So it is not that little amount of insulin is being produced. The problem is that the insulin which is being produced, it is being destroyed. The beta cells which can produce the insulin, they are also being destroyed. So that is wrong. The person suffering from type 1 diabetes require constant dosage of insulin. So this one is the correct one. So answer will be option number A, only one. Okay. So that is answer number A. Which of the following statements are correct? The mitochondrial defects of both parents can be transferred to the future generation. Three-parent baby can reduce the chances of inherited diseases. So here we have question number 5. C option, A option, B option. The mitochondrial defects of both parents can be transferred to the future generation. This is wrong. You know that it can be transferred only from mother. It can be transferred only from mother, not from the father. So this is wrong. Okay. It is saying the mitochondrial defect of both parents can be transferred to the future generation. You know that it can be done only from the father. Sorry, only from the mother, not the father. The first option is wrong. three parent baby can reduce, it is not saying eliminate, can reduce the chances of inherited diseases. So this one is correct. The correct answer is option number B, that is 2 only. Okay. So in this case, it is going to be option number B, that is 2 only. Okay. So see what we have been doing. If remember this, Aniket, one thing, in case of type 1 diabetes, type 1 diabetes is not caused because there is little insulin. Type 1 diabetes is caused because the insulin is getting destroyed. Okay. It is not because they are having little insulin production. It is because the insulin is getting destroyed. That is part first, that little insulin is being secreted. But it is not the reason of type 1 diabetes. The reason behind type 1 diabetes is that the insulin is getting destroyed. Because first we have seen the beta cells have been destroyed, somewhat insulin was getting produced, but that insulin is also getting destroyed by the immune system. That causes the type 1 diabetes. Yeah. Here we see that three parent baby can reduce the chances of inherited diseases. In one of the classes, I have explained it to you that what is the concept of three parent baby. Were you not attending that session? I have explained this three parent baby. So if you have not attended that session, go to the previous session, attend it back. We have discussed this one part. Okay. So this three parent baby is one such technique in which there is like a reduction of chances. We are not writing elimination because some defect can be inherited from nucleus also. Here it is only defect removing or reducing the chances of mitochondrial defect. That's why we have used the word reduce here, not the elimination. Okay. So these were the topics, these were the questions which we have to discuss. Now, in the last class, what was the last topic which we were discussing? What was the last topic? Stem cell therapy. So we have discussed this sickle cell anemia. I hope, I think this is the one topic which we have discussed, sickle cell anemia. Yes, treatment of sickle cell anemia was the last one topic which we have discussed. Now the next topic which we are going to start to discuss about is going to about two diseases which are having the same causes. There are two diseases which are having the same cause or the same region. One such disease is called as color blindness. One problem is color blindness. So in case of color blindness, what happens that a person is not able to distinguish. A person is not able to distinguish between red and green. Okay. Like suppose here we are having two different color. Okay. This is red, this is green. I hope you can identify it. This one is red, this one is green, right? You are able to identify the difference between red and green. This is red one and this is green one, right? Yes. So if you are able to identify, then it's good. Okay. So there is one such problem which is called as color blindness. What we see that the person is not able to identify between red and green color, or sometimes between blue and yellow color. Okay. Like this is the blue color and the yellow color. Okay. So sometimes what we see that people are not able to identify between the different colors, okay, between the red and green and blue and yellow. So this is the one problem which is called as color blindness. This is one such problem which is color blindness. Now, this problem, if we look at this problem, it is most common. This is something which is most common in male. This is most common in male. Okay. Means only in male this one problem is there. In female, there is a very negligible chance of developing color blindness. Like up to 99% times, or 97, 98% times, what we see that it is mostly there in case of male. In case of female, there is no such issue of color blindness. So why this is? Let us try to understand it. This color blindness occurs due to defect in X chromosome. It is occurring due to defect in the X chromosome. This one is occurring due to a defect in X chromosome. But X chromosome is found in both male and female. When you see, when we are talking about male and female, what we look at this, in the case of male, there is X and Y chromosome. In case of female, there is double X chromosome. But despite this, what we see that it is most common in case of male. Okay. Whereas females can be a carrier of this disease, means they can carry it to the next generation, but there is a little chance that they will develop it in their lifetime. There is a very negligible chance that they will develop it. Why this occurs? Let us see this with one example. Okay. Like say parents. Okay. If we talk about parent, let us say we have one of the parent, the mother is carrying, let us say the mother is carrying the defective gene. Mother is carrying the defective chromosome. So in this case, if we talk about their progeny, if we talk about their future, there is one chance that it will be XX and this X, or X and Y, or this X and this X. Okay. And then we can have X and Y. Okay. There is one chance that this X will be combining with this X, resultant will be here. This X might combine with Y, resultant is here. This X may be released combining with this one, here we have the third one, and this X with Y, fourth one. Okay. Now in this case, if you look at this, here we are having the defective gene and here we are having the defective gene. This is the female. Now what we will see that one defective chromosome, one correct chromosome. So the correct chromosome will prevail over the defective one, and this girl child will not have the color blindness. Okay. So will not have color blindness. She is not going to have, will not have color blindness, as one X chromosome is correct. But in this case of this male, the male is going to have only one X chromosome. This male is having only one X chromosome. There is no such alternate option. So Y cannot fulfill the demand of the X. So in this case, the person will be suffering from color blindness. Okay. The person will be suffering from color blindness. Now, you may think that what if the father is having? What if the father is having X and Y? In this case, again, what we will see, it will lead to XX dash XY, XX, and XY. In this case also, again, you can see two of them are having the defective gene. Here also, the male will have the color blindness, the female will not have. Now let us imagine that both of them are having defective genes. Now in this case, what we will see that there will be one such situation where there will be both chromosomes which are defective. So in this case, again here there will be a chance of color blindness, and here also. Now in this case, in this girl, there is going to be color blindness, here also color blindness. This one will not have color blindness, this one will not have color blindness. So this is one rare case that a person is also colorblind. A male is there who is having color blindness. He has married or he has got a child with a woman who is also a carrier of color blindness. So in that rare case, there is a possibility that a girl child is going to be born who is also having color blindness. So this one situation is quite rare. Hence what we see that in the case of color blindness, mostly the males are impacted. Now there is one more disease which is also occurring in the same manner. Okay. There is another disease which is occurring in the same manner, and that is hemophilia. Okay. Hemophilia. In the case of hemophilia, what we see that there is lesser amount of like fibrin or thrombin protein. It means lower blood coagulation. There is going to be lower blood coagulation. So if a person is suffering from hemophilia, if the person is having even a slight cut, so then we will see that the platelets are on the lower side, the proteins are on the lower side, the person will not have easy coagulation of the blood. When there is like a lesser coagulation of the blood, there can be more bleeding. Okay. So here we see that like blood is not easily coagulating. The blood is not like the blood coagulation doesn't take place immediately, and there can be more and more bleeding. Okay. So in this case, there can be more bleeding, and it can be dangerous also. Suppose that a person has met with an accident. Now in the case of that person, blood clotting will not be taking place. If the blood clotting is not taking place, the person may die. So this is also one thing which occurs due to defect in X chromosome. This is also due to defect in X chromosome genes. Okay. Defect in genes of X chromosome. Okay. So if there is a defect in the genes of X chromosome, then this one problem may also arise. So these two problems, the hemophilia and color blindness, they are X chromosome related disease. Now one more thing, I am clarifying one more thing here. Suppose a person is having color blindness, it doesn't mean that he will have the problem of hemophilia also. When we talk about one pair of chromosome, you know that this one pair of chromosome is consisting of thousands and thousands of genes. One pair of chromosome may contain thousands of genes. So it's not like if a chromosome is defective, or if due to one defect there is color blindness, it means the person will have the problem of hemophilia also. In this case, what we see that if there is a color blindness, it means the genes which are responsible, for the color identification, that one is defective. If there is the problem of thrombin issue or blood clotting issue, it means the genes which are responsible for thrombin production, they are responsible. So it's not that the entire X chromosome is faulty. Within the X chromosomes, there are thousands of genes. The one gene which is responsible for blood clotting, that may be defective, or the one which is responsible for visual information, that one may be defective. So don't compare this one part, that if X chromosome is defective, the person will have color blindness also, and the person will have hemophilia also. We generally say that due to X chromosome defect, but if we go in the detail of it, we find that within the X chromosomes there are multiple defects. So these are the two diseases. Now here also you can understand that this is also something which is mostly present in the male. This is also something which is mostly present in male. So there are two diseases, one is color blindness and one is hemophilia. Both of these problems are found in male. Why? They are occurring due to defect in genes associated with X chromosome. Now we have seen X chromosome is not going to have impact on women, it is largely going to have impact on the male. That's why we see that color blindness and hemophilia are largely impacting the male population. Okay. So just write a little bit about this. This can arise in female. I'm told you that there is a rare chance. It is not very common, there is a rare chance. Within one chromosome, there can be thousands of genes. Yes, it is also called as royal disease because this one disease is prevalent in the royal family of Britain. So write about this one part. First, color blindness. It is a problem arising due to defect in gene associated with X chromosome. It is mostly prevalent in male population. It is mostly prevalent in male population as in the males there is presence of prevalence of only one X chromosome. As in the males, there is prevalence of only one X chromosome. In case of female, even if one chromosome is having, in case of female, even if one chromosome is having defective gene, it is compensated it is compensated by the other chromosome, by the other chromosome. Next one, hemophilia. Next one, hemophilia. In case of hemophilia, a person suffers from lack of sufficient amount of proteins in the blood, such as thrombin or fibrin, Due to lack of these proteins, blood clotting due to lack of these proteins, blood clotting may not take place. Blood clotting may not take place. It can cause excessive loss of blood. It may cause excessive loss of blood and even death of the person. Okay. Even death of the person. It is also related to defect in gene. It is also related to defect in gene associated with X chromosome. Defect in gene associated with X chromosome. X chromosome. It is also mostly occurring in male population. It is also occurring mostly in male population. So this is like two diseases, color blindness and hemophilia, which we have discussed, which is related to X chromosomal disorder. Okay. Now there is another disorder which is called as trisomy X and Klinefelter syndrome. It is also related to the sex chromosome. Now, in case of the normal situation, we see that normally what we look at, male, they have got X and Y, and female, they are having like X and X chromosome. Normally, the male is having X and Y chromosome, whereas female is having X and X chromosome. But what we see that there is a situation in which a male may be having double XY chromosome. A male may be having double XY chromosome. So now the question is why this occurs? What is the cause behind it? That why this one problem is arising, why a person is having double XY chromosome. So here the situation is this, that you normally see that in case of a male, there is one X coming from the side of mother and one X coming from side of father. Similarly, one X and one Y. One Y. But in a particular situation, it may happen that when an egg cell is being produced, so instead of having one X, it may happen that they may release two X and one Y may come from here, or like XY from here, one X from here. So there is a possible situation in which instead of having just one X from the mother, there can be two X which can come from mother and one Y which can come from the father, or XY from the father and one X from the mother. So here we are having this one situation which is called as XXY syndrome or Klinefelter syndrome. Klinefelter syndrome. Now remember one thing, in case of bio, we consider only two sex at birth. Either a person can be male or a person can be female. Either a person can be male or female. Okay. So here there is no such concept of gender. Here there is concept of sex at birth. So in this case, there is going to be a male or female. So if a person is having double X and Y chromosome, since Y is present here, the person will be considered as a male only. Okay. So here we are talking about bio only, and the person will be considered as a male only. His gender may be male or his gender may be anything which he wants. Okay. So his gender is a different concept, and here the sex at birth is a different concept. Biologically, this person is going to be male only. Okay. So in case of bio, there is only two concepts, male and female. Gender is a social concept. Gender is a social concept, not a biological concept. Now here, if a person is having double XY chromosome, so in this case, there are going to be certain change in the body of the person. There is going to be certain change in the body of the person. Like what changes may be there? The person may have extra tall height or extra tall person. The person may be extra tall. Okay. Lack of hair on body. Lack of hair on body. The person may not have a breast like women, but his chest may be like a little bit more swollen, or it may be of bigger size. Okay. So breasts of like a bigger size as compared to other male. Like in case of most of the male, the breast is not developed fully. The breast is not developed. Why the breasts are there? The breasts are there to feed the child. In case of male, due to evolution, we see that the breasts are not present there. But if a person is having double XY chromosome, the person may be having a bit more like breast as compared to other male. Okay. Then at the same time, what we also see that the testosterone level may be on the lower side. The testosterone level may be on lower side because there is presence of 2X chromosome. Okay. So lower level of testosterone. Okay. The testosterone levels may be on the lower side. Okay. So that is also one part which we see in case of a person who is suffering from Klinefelter syndrome. It may be linked to lower fertility. The fertility of that person may be on the lower side. Okay. The fertility of the person may be on the lower side. So this is one part which we see in the case of one problem which is called as Klinefelter syndrome. So this is one such situation where we see that Klinefelter syndrome is existing. There is another condition which we call as trisomy X. Trisomy X. So it is in the case of female. Normally we see that female is having XX and male is having XY. Now suppose that from here double X came and from here one X also arrived. So it can lead to a situation where a female is having triple X chromosome. This is called as this is called as trisomy. This is called as trisomy X. This is called as trisomy X. Okay. Now, in the case of trisomy X, here what we will see that extra tall, hormonal imbalance, might also cause infertility. However, it's rare. Okay. So if a female is having trisomy X, so in this case, extra tall, hormonal imbalance may be there, may also cause infertility in the women. So that is also one such situation which may arise. There is another possibility. Like suppose that one X came from here and one X came from here. But overall, one X remained effective. The other X was destroyed or defective. So here we are having like this one problem where there is one single X. Here we have seen that triple X chromosome is there. That is called as trisomy X. Here we are having only one X chromosome. This one problem is called as Turner syndrome. This one problem is called as Turner syndrome. Okay. This is trisomy X. This is Turner syndrome. Now, in this case, what we see that if a female is having or if a child is having Turner syndrome, most of the time there is the death of the child like during the pregnancy itself. Okay. So what we see that most of the time death during pregnancy itself. Most of time death is during the pregnancy itself. So this is one thing. If a child is suffering from this Turner syndrome, most of the time there is death during the pregnancy itself. Then suppose that if the child survives somehow, then also we will see that the growth may not be there. Okay. What we will see that retarded growth, hormonal imbalance, delayed puberty, menstrual cycle. Delayed puberty and menstrual cycle. Here we will see that if a child is suffering from Turner syndrome, that child or that adolescent teenager might also be suffering from lack of estrogen and progesterone, and chances of having pregnancy is quite rare. Quite rare. Okay. So chances of having pregnancy is quite rare. The child may not survive. Like first, the chances that, like most of the time, if there is single X chromosome, the child is like the child becomes dead before the delivery itself. Even if the child is born, even if a girl child is born, there is a highly chance that by the time she reaches up to the teenager's age, she might die. And even if she survives, she might not be able to become pregnant, or there will be always lack of estrogen, progesterone and other things. Puberty will be delayed. Even the menstrual cycles will not be regular. Okay. So these all things are there in case of this Turner syndrome. This one is trisomy X, and the previous one which we have discussed is called as Klinefelter syndrome. Okay. The last one which we have discussed is Klinefelter syndrome. So I hope you have written this one part, Klinefelter syndrome. I hope you have noted this one, Klinefelter syndrome. Then after that, we have this one, trisomy and Turner. Turner syndrome, here we have seen that in case of Turner syndrome, one of the X chromosome may get destroyed or may become defective during the time of pregnancy. During the time of pregnancy, due to environmental condition. Environmental condition means like if a woman is having pregnancy, during that time, if she is not getting proper amount of food, if she is exposed to radiation, if there is too much stress in her life, or if there is like food contamination, water contamination, or any other factor, so then it may lead to destruction or like a defect in one of the chromosome. And then in that case, it may lead to this problem where there is development of Turner syndrome. In Turner syndrome, we are seeing that most of the time there is death of the child during the pregnancy itself. The child becomes dead at the time when she is inside the womb itself. There is another possibility that there can be retarded growth or hormonal imbalance. Okay. At the same time, puberty and menstrual cycle may also get delayed. There will be infertility. The child, when she develops as a woman also, she might not be able to carry her own child, might not be able to get pregnant. So that is one thing which we observe during the I was showing the Klinefelter for a long period of time. Why you have not written? How much slow speed you are writing? Do you think that in UPSC, when you will be going for exam, UPSC will change the schedule and they will give you 6 hours to write? Here there is like less than 10 words and you are taking 5 minutes to write. If you are not able to write, take the screenshot, write it later or watch from the recorded session. These are very slow writings. Internal, the child will be female. I have told you that there was 2 such X chromosome. One is defective. So this is the case in case of female. Both these cases are related to female. Here it will be biologically female. Internal syndrome also, this is going to be female. Here also it is going to be female. Okay. Okay. So this is another part which is Klinefelter syndrome. The next one which we have to see, is the Down syndrome. The Down syndrome is one such problem where again we have a trisomy. But this Down syndrome is not related to X chromosome or Y chromosome. Down syndrome is something which is related with chromosome number 21. Okay. So there is another problem which is called as Down syndrome. There is another problem which is called as Down syndrome. So Down syndrome, it is also called as trisomy. Trisomy 21. Trisomy 21. Here what we see that the autosome number 21 instead of being 2, it has 3 copies. So in this case of trisomy 21, what we see that instead of 2 copies, there is 3 copy of autosome 21. So instead of 2 copies, there is 3 copies of autosome number 21. So this is not related to X chromosome or Y chromosome. This is related to autosome. And here what we see that the autosome 21 is repeated 3 times instead of 2. Normally you know that we have got in total 46 chromosome or 23 pairs. Okay. So every chromosome is having a pair. So if due to any defect during the birth of the child, suppose that the 21st pair got repeated 3 times instead of 2, so that gives rise to a problem which is called as trisomy 21 or Down syndrome. This is one such syndrome which is impacting the entire life of a person. Okay. This is impacting the entire life of the person. Like if we look at a person suffering from this Down syndrome, okay, you will find that if a person is suffering from Down syndrome, okay, that person is going to have this like improper growth. There is going to be improper growth of the child. Okay. There is going to be improper growth of the child. Okay. Now in this case, what we see here that there is going to be small nose, mouth, and AIDS. Okay. At the same time, we will also see that weak muscle strength, bones may bend. Okay. Bones may bend. Okay. There can also be white spots on eyes, low IQ level. There can also be low IQ level. Okay. So these all things may be seen in case of Down syndrome. Okay. That overall the physical and mental growth of child is not going to be proper. The child may be having improper physical as well as mental growth. There will be difficulty in learning, understanding and interpreting things. Okay. These all problems are associated with the Down syndrome. Why this Down syndrome is occurring? It is because of one extra copy of autosome number 21. It is because of one extra copy of autosome number 21. So that is one such disease which we call as the Down syndrome. Arshad, I think you have not attended when I was telling this part that one chromosome is having thousands of genes. Okay. Like suppose that if there is a gene which is related to vision, which is related to eyes, if that is defective in case of X chromosome, it will give rise to the issue of color blindness. If the gene which is related to the blood formation or the platelets formation, if that is defective, it will give rise to the problem of hemophilia. And if the chromosome itself is absent, it will give rise to the problems like Turner syndrome. If there is extra chromosome which is present, it may give rise to problems like Klinefelter or trisomy X. Okay. Achha, tell me one thing. The questions which you are asking, tell me one thing here. Like when we are discussing about this problem of Down syndrome, I have written here autosome. In the previous classes, I have told you, like last day itself, I told you that there are in total 23 pairs of chromosomes. 22 of them are called as autosomes. And one pair is X chromosome and Y chromosome or the sex chromosome. So here if I have written autosome number 21, so when you are asking me that Down syndrome implies having extra X or Y chromosome, are you really thinking about the question? So attend the previous sessions, then only you will be able to catch these things. When I have already written here that it is related to autosome, in the last session I have explained it to you that there are 22 pairs of autosomes, one pair is sex chromosome. About all these diseases, we are going to talk about this one thing. In the case of all such problems, what is the treatment option? What is the treatment option? There are two types of treatment option. Okay. There is like one thing, care-based plus managing symptoms. There is one thing, care-based and managing symptoms. Like in any cases, if there are certain challenges, for example, a person is suffering from hemophilia. If a person is suffering from hemophilia, it means he have this deficiency of those proteins which can cause the coagulation of blood. So he can be transfused with platelets. Okay. In same cases, in case of color blindness, the person can be given those hormones, the person can be infused with those hormones which can enhance the color perception. Okay. In similar way, in case of Turner syndrome or in case of Klinefelter, in case of all other, it can be care based and managing the symptoms. Second possible thing is, in some cases, there can be stem cell therapy. In some cases, there can be use of stem cell therapy. The stem cells which are responsible for a particular thing, for example, in case of hemophilia, we know that it is coming from the bone marrow. It is coming from the bone marrow. So if we change the stem cell over there, it might provide some relief. Although this is in the experimental stage. This is not a reality. This is an experimental stage. Okay. Experimental stage. Third thing is gene editing, gene modification. Again, this is something which is also in experimental stage, not in a reality now. It is also an experimental stage where we might look to improve, where we might look to modify the existing genes, and that might be offering the solution. But both of them are there in the experimental stage. Right now, they have not been able to do so. Okay. Right now, it has not been able to get the solution for these problems. Okay. Right now, what is the option? Care-based plus managing symptom. Like if a child is suffering from Down syndrome, so there can be a special attention given to that child, which can be helpful in his growth and development. Okay. Like a person, you cannot change the physical feature of the person, but about that emotions, about that care, about that IQ, special care can be provided to that child. Okay. Same times, in some cases, like suppose Turner syndrome is there, so there can be hormonal therapy. Extra hormones can be injected in the body, which can help to manage the symptoms. So in all these situations, there are three approaches. One is the care plus hormone based therapies. Second, stem cell therapies and gene modification, which may be possible in future, but as of now, there is no cure of these diseases. These are genetical diseases where we are trying to manage the disease rather than curing it. Okay. So here the main attempt is managing it. Okay. The main focus is on managing the impact rather than curing it as of now. The cure is not that much possible. Why it has not been possible? There is another reason. It's not that everyone is suffering from that. The population which is suffering from these type of diseases is on the lower side. It is type of a rare disease. So there is no such like profit in finding the solution of the rare diseases for private companies, because the rare diseases which are there, the people who are suffering from it, many of them might not be able to pay for it. So in most of the countries, there is lack of government backed research and development, and on the other hand, private sector is looking for profit motive. That's why the experimental studies in these manners have been quite on the slow side. So I hope this one part is clear, that in any case of these chromosomal defect, whether it is autosome or sickle cell anemia or anything, what we are doing, we are managing the symptoms. We are managing the symptoms, managing the disease rather than curing it. Okay. So this is one part. Okay. So we have been discussing these diseases, like we have also discussed this one part which is called as Down syndrome. Okay. Down syndrome. So this is one part which we are reading as part of our like basic type of diseases. Now there is another section of it. There is another section of it, that the common diseases which are there, the the one which are common in the present times, like in the current affairs. For example, from time to time, you will find some new diseases coming up or some diseases which may surface again. So that is one thing which you will need to add from the current affairs. If a new vaccine is getting developed, add it from there. At the end, like in the biotechnology part and later on, we will see some of the other present diseases, like in the present times, the one which are quite famous. But since I think most of you are going for 26 exam or 27 exam, so before the prelims, you can add some of the prevailing diseases, not what has been prevailing in 2023 or 24. Now, coming to this one part, if diseases are there, then there is another thing which is called as medicine. If there is a disease, there is also one thing called as medicine. Okay. So in the medicine section, we have to understand that how does the medicine work. In the medicine section, we have to understand this one part, that how does the medicine work. Okay. And at the same time, we have to see one mains related topic again from here. Like last day, we have discussed one such topic of anemia and sickle cell anemia in detail in a mains format. In same manner, here also we have to discuss one mains related topic in detailed format, and that is medicine and antimicrobial resistance. This is going to be one relevant topic for your examination. Okay. So right now, the diseases which we have discussed, in that only 3 diseases are very important for exam. One is sickle cell, one is simple anemia, and third is cancer, and right now the diabetes also. These 4 are common diseases which might be useful. The others which we have covered, they are not that much relevant, but for covering the syllabus, we are doing them also. Okay. Now, coming to this one portion, the disease section, and in that we will discuss the medicine. So we have to understand that what actually are medicines and what is the working principle of it. So when we talk about this medicine, what we see that, like, how does the medicine work? How does it work? When you open a pharmacy, or if you're planning to open a pharmacy, you will need more information about medicine, like what is antibiotics, what is antiviral, what is analgesics, what are the different types of categories of medicine. But for UPSC, you don't have to go in detail of that. That what are the hundreds of different types of medicines, you don't have to go in detail of it. What we have to understand, that how the medicines work and how it is causing a public health concern. So we will try to understand the working principle of medicines. That when we take the medicine, can we take the medicine, when we take the medicine, how it works and what challenges it may pose for us. So see first, how we will get the medicine. Ways of taking medicine. There is one part, it can be oral, like in form of tablet or syrup, in form of tablet or in form of syrup, or it can be intravenous. Like directly in blood. So there are 2 formats in which we can be taking the medicines. One thing is, we can be applying it, or we can be taking it in the form of tablet, syrup, anything, capsule. And second thing is, it can be intravenous, directly in the blood. Now in this situation, when we are taking a tablet, what is the process? When we are eating a tablet, This is going to go into the digestive system. And I think now you have this understanding that from digestive system, it is going to enter into the blood. Can you tell me how it will enter into blood from digestive system? How it is going to enter into blood from digestive system? Huh. So you know that it goes into our digestive system. From there, it is going to go into the blood. Now you also have this one idea that this blood is going to pass through all the portions of the body. So suppose that if you are having any such problem, like you are having some infection in your legs, if you're having some infection in your legs, maybe a fungal infection or maybe a bacterial wound or anything, if you're having any such problem or wound in your leg and you are taking a medicine for it, that medicine is going to go into the blood. Now you know that this blood, it is not like once it reaches into the blood will carry it only to your legs. It is not going to carry it only to the legs. The blood is going to carry that medicine. It is going to carry that medicine to all the portions of the body, from your toe to your brain. Each and every part is going to get that medicine. So this medicine will travel to it. This is going to travel to all parts of body. It is going to travel to all parts of body. And while it is traveling through all parts of body, when it is traveling to all parts of body, in that moment, it is also going to enter liver. It is also going to enter the liver. Like liver has this one role that it is creating bile juice. But the liver has another role. Liver is also called as the chemical processing unit of the body. It is the chemical processing unit of body. It is the chemical processing unit of the body. So while it is traveling through all the parts, when it is traveling through all the parts, it will go into the liver also. Liver is the chemical processing unit of the body. This liver, what we see that liver recognizes drug as external item. Liver will recognize this as an external item, as a foreign substance. It will recognize it as a foreign substance. If you are using any medicine, the liver recognizes it as a foreign substance. And we have discussed it in the past also, that when body treats something as a foreign substance, what it does? It tries to remove this, tries to flush it out of body. It tries to flush it out of the body. The liver will send it to kidney, sends it to kidney, and kidney removes it out of body. It is removing it out of the body. The kidney is removing it out of the body. So that is one common thing which we see in case of our body. When you are taking a medicine, only about 10 to 15% of it is getting absorbed. On an average, around 10 to 15% of the medicine is actually absorbed by the body. The remaining 80 to 85% of the medicine is thrown out of the body through the waste material. So the medicines which we are consuming, it is getting released out of the body. So this is one such process. Okay. Now at the same time, what we see that, like suppose how the medicines are created, how it will reach to a designated target, how this is going to reach to a designated target. So medicines are basically proteins. Medicines are basically a type of protein, and these proteins will bind to some designated proteins only. Most of the time they will bind or they will react with some designated proteins only. Like suppose a person is having tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is caused due to a bacteria which is called as Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Now when we are developing the medicine of tuberculosis, we design it in such a manner that the proteins in the medicine will cause impact only on the Mycobacterium tuberculosis, or it will bind only to those proteins which can fight against the TB bacteria. So when we design the medicines, we design it in such a manner that it will bind to a specific protein only. Okay. So this is another part. Okay. When we are talking about the designing of the protein or designing of the medicine, when we see the designing of medicine, this designing of medicine, it is done in such a manner, it is basically done in such a manner so that it combines only with a specific proteins. So it binds only with specific proteins. The design of medicine is in such a manner that it binds only with a specific protein. So now suppose that here when it is passing through all the parts of body, there is a target cell or protein. So here we see that medicine will bind to it. Medicine will bind to it. In the other part, it will not react. In the other portions, it is not going to react. Now suppose if it is reacting with other portion, if it is binding with other parts of the body also, so then in that case, there is the side effect of the medicine. Okay. Here what we see that if it binds with other parts, so then it causes side effect. If it is binding with the other parts, then it causes the side effect. So normally it is prepared in such a manner that it will bind only to a target cell or a protein. But suppose due to any reason, if it has binded with other parts or other proteins, then it is going to cause the side effect. Normally when you are purchasing a medicine, you will find that it is written on that packet, on that like a packet of the medicine, that it may cause certain side effects. So that side effect may occur. That is a possible chance. Most of the time it is not occurring, but in some cases it may occur also. So this is one way how the medicines are working. We see that some portion of it is binding with the target cell, majority portion is removed out of the body. So here we can see one more thing. Around 15% medicine remains in body and 85%, 80 to 85% flushed out. So this is one part, how the medicines are working inside the body. So this is one such section. I hope this one part is clear, how the medicines work. Any medicine which you are like consuming, any medicine which you are consuming, it will have the same course. Whether you are consuming it for the heart or the brain or painkiller, paracetamol, any type of medicine, if anything goes inside the body, even if some people are consuming alcohol, alcohol is also a foreign substance. Alcohol is also foreign substance. So it also goes in the same manner. It will pass through the liver. Okay. It will pass through the liver and it will reach to each and every part of the body. Okay. So this reaction of the body or side effect, this is how it occurs. If it is binding with other parts, then that is what we call as side effect or reaction. Okay. Like when you consume the roti, or when you consume supplement, when you consume anything, will it go in the blood? Always ask this one question. Will it go in the blood? You are consuming anything. Doesn't matter what type of medicine, what type of water, what type of food you are eating. Anything which you consume or you apply on your skin, the skin also absorbs those substances. Like suppose when you are putting the creams on your face, that fair and handsome, within 7 days you will be shining like who is the new stars? Varun Dhawan and Hrithik Roshan, his old one, any other star. Yeah. So if you have got all those face creams, or you are having simply any such creams or any such deodorants, anything which you put on your body, inside your body, will eventually go up into the blood. Whether you apply over the body or you eat it inside the body, each and everything is destined to go into the blood. And you know that if anything enters into the blood, it will go to each and every part of the body. So here we have written this one thing, intravenous also, directly in the blood. So that is just skipping this one part only. This is skipping just this digestive system part only. After the blood, same thing will go. Okay. So whether you apply it on the body, eat it, consume it, any manner, it is going to be inside the body. When it goes inside the body, it will go into the blood. And you know that from the tip of your finger to the neuron cells of your brains to your toe, the blood will travel to each and every part. So whatever you are applying on your body or eating inside your body, be aware about it. Okay. So that is one thing. Acha, when you are eating liquid medicine, where it will go? You eat anything, it doesn't matter. If you are eating this pen also, suppose it is broken down into simpler pieces, that will also go from brain to toe. It doesn't matter. If I drink this one glass of water which is containing microplastic, it will also go. So everything which is there. Okay. Now, so this is one part, that how the medicines travel. Okay. There is another portion of it. There is another portion of it. There is another portion of it when liver is processing any chemical. When liver is processing any chemical, there is destruction of some cells of the liver. There is another part of it. Okay. When the liver is processing any chemical, there is going to be destruction of some part of it. Like you are having Kent RO in your home. Now you know that Kent RO is giving you the pure water, but after certain time you know that it's filtered. The filter of this RO will also need replacement. It is not naturally growing. Now our liver is something which can naturally grow also. Like when the cells are getting destroyed, you know that cells will divide and it will replenish, it will regrow. It will regrow. But think about the situation where a person is constantly having consumption of medicine or any such foreign chemical substance. Foreign chemical substance means the one which is not common in the body. The one which is not common in the body, which has been introduced by outside. So when someone is continuously taking any such substance, then when it passes through liver, liver is processing or breaking it down. While it is breaking it down, certain cells of liver will also die. So if a person is regularly consuming some intoxicating substances or medicines or chemical products, he can understand that what will be the impact on the liver of that person. Okay. That is one side of the story. Now, come back to this one part. Come back to this one part. The medicine is removed out of the body. The medicine is removed out of the body. Okay. Now, this is one thing. This process is common in almost all other organisms also, like the cattle, the tigers, fishes, human. Everyone is having almost similar processes. So when cattle are getting the medicines, they're also releasing it in the environment. Now see, there is one thing. The medicine, when someone is consuming medicine, we see that majority section of medicine flushed out of body. Okay. Anyone, it can be humans, cattle, or any other organism. Now, in the most of the cases, what we see that when they're consuming this medicine, majority of it is flushed out in the environment. So, can you tell me what will be the destination? Where will this medicine finally go? Where will this medicine finally go? This medicine is going to end up either in the soil or it is going to be there in the water. It is going to be there in the soil or it is going to be there in the water. Okay. Now, Just one more thing. This soil and water, it is also the habitat of microbes. Habitat of microbes. This soil and water is also the habitat of microbes. Just see here. The medicines which are going in soil and water, they are like, as compared to humans, they may be a higher dose, or as compared to cattle, as compared to one person or one organism, it can be higher dose. But when we call this soil and water, like suppose there is an entire ocean, there is a big Pacific Ocean. If you go and if you put one small bottle of poison in the Pacific Ocean, if you put one small bottle of poison in the Pacific Ocean, how much impact it will have? If you give that one to any organism, the organism may die. But if you put that entire bottle of poison in the Pacific Ocean, will there be any major impact on the ocean as such? The ocean is so much enormous that it will not have such major impact. But what we will see that this is going to provide a smaller dosage of antibiotics or antimicrobials. So we are adding a smaller doses of antibiotics or antimicrobial to the soil and water, or we can say it to the habitat of microbes. Okay. Now think about it. If you have got a mosquito coil, but you are not burning it properly, or if you have got a mosquito refill, and you are not using it properly, there is a small amount of vapors which are coming out of it. So will it impact the microbes? It is not life threatening. It is not life threatening for microbes. It is not something which is life threatening for microbes. But there is one part. They will start to adjust. They will start to evolve. This is one part where we see that this one is going to provide an opportunity. It is going to provide an opportunity to the microbes to evolve against, or to adapt or evolve against these medicines. It is going to provide them an opportunity that they will be adapting or evolving against these microbes, against these medicines, against these drugs. It is in the same manner, like suppose that if you have got the same mosquito coil for 6 months, if you are using the same mosquito coil for 6 months, you will find that after 6 months, the mosquito will be dancing over it. The mosquito may be enjoying its weekend over that same mosquito coil or the mosquito refill. Why? Because it has adapted, it has evolved according to the smell or according to the toxicity of that refill. You may see this one thing, that the companies which are providing these coils, they are always bringing something new. You will find that they're like a advertisement which is there. You will find that after every 5 months or 6 months, they are bringing something new. Why? The mosquitoes are evolving fastly. They are also evolving fastly. Mosquitoes may still have a life of 1 day or 2 days, They can still survive for 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. But think about the bacteria. Within 1 day, they can have their multiple generations. Within 1 day, a bacteria can have their multiple generations. The microbes which are there, they are having multiple generations within 1 day. So now with every new life, with every new reproduction or every new generation, they will evolve. With every new generation, they are going to evolve. So they are going to, this is providing an opportunity for the microbes to evolve against these medicines. And finally, as a result of this, what we see that it gives rise to, this one gives rise to antimicrobial resistance. Now see, suppose these microbes have got the adaptation, they have evolved against the medicine. They have evolved against those medicine. Suppose a bacteria was living here, a bacteria which is causing tuberculosis. It was living in this soil and water. Now it is getting constant small doses of the antibiotic. Gradually, it is going to evolve. Gradually, this is going to evolve. After a certain period of time, when the same bacteria is infecting any other person, when the same bacteria is infecting any other person, and the person is provided with the medicine or antibiotic, will antibiotic work in that person? Like suppose here a bacteria has evolved, TB bacteria, it is infecting a person. This person may not be consuming medicine. This person may be quite innocent. But what we see that this bacteria, it is an evolved one. It has adapted to the medicine. So now when this bacteria is infecting this person, he goes to the doctor, asks for the medicine. The doctor is giving the medicine. The person is consuming it also. But he will not be cured of it. He will not get the cure. He will not get the treat. He will not get treated. Why he will not get treated? Because bacteria is much more powerful now. These bacteria have also been called as, also known as superbugs. Also known as superbugs. So they have evolved according to the medicine. They will not be responding to the antibiotics, to the antimicrobials. So now they have become superbugs. They have become super powerful. So I hope this one part is clear. What is antimicrobial resistance? Yes, it is acting like a vaccine. Gram negative and gram positive has no such impact here. Gram negative and gram positive is just a basis of identification of the bacteria, whether they are turning the color of solution into purple or not. So it doesn't matter what type of bacteria are there. They can be gram positive or gram negative. It doesn't matter. Because someone of you have said that, sir, today finish the class at 3:45. So I have accepted that one part. Today I will be finishing the class at 3:45. Abhishek has said that finish the class at 3:45. So I will be continuing till then. Okay. So this is one part. Yes, we will cover that in the next session. We will see the remaining portion in the next session. Okay. So then we will meet again, I think, on next Monday. And on Monday, we will be discussing this next part, AKA, also known as, that is AKA, also known as. So we will continue from here. We will see this part, that what other factors contribute to this antimicrobial resistance. Then we will see the vaccine part. And then after reading this portions of bio, like after the vaccine and medicine, we will start with remaining sections like physics and chemistry. Okay. And then we will come to biotechnology, where we will again start with bio. So in middle of that, you will get some time for revision of the previous chapters of bio. तो नेक्स्ट वन सेशन वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस, कल तो सैटरडे, कल क्यों नहीं, देखो कल इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि कल दूसरी क्लास भी है. Okay, so let's meet then in the next session on Monday, and then we will discuss the remaining portion. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Take care, enjoy the weekends, and eat your food in the next 15 minutes. Thank you. Take care. Right now, yes, right now 3 parent baby is only for mitochondria. It has been used only for mitochondria.